Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We went to movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained best pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the favorite bit by bit. Sweetie and Sweetie are here to say it's the Large Marge Santa's podcast. Hey,
Guys, welcome to the Large Marge Tennis Podcast, your favorite podcast where two sweetie sisters talk about movies that shaped their childhood. I'm Sweetie with an IE.
And I'm Sweetie with a Y.
Oh, hi guys. Hi. My pick this week, and I was feeling, I feel like fall in some ways brings out a want to get like 90s mopey movie vibes. I don't know. I'm feeling very reality bites.
Sure.
I'm feeling very
Chunky sweater movie.
chunky sweater movies, smoking. I don't
Yeah.
smoke, but drinking
could.
coffee. It's still like 90 degrees every day, but still I'm like, you're in the mindset, you're in the vibe. The calendar page moves, like you're there. So along those lines, the actor that kind of fits into that for me is Johnny Depp a little bit. And I was like, let's finally tackle a movie that I've wanted to do for a while. And it's sort of like, am I in the mood to watch this? Finally in the mood. And it is What's Eating Gilbert
Grape?
A grape. I think like just the that name really makes it for me that their last name's Grape.
It's just like, could it be any more perfect?
Yeah,
don't
it's
think
just it's so perfect. So What's Eating Gilbert Grape from
Gilbert?
1990?
Did
Gilbert
you say
Grape.
Gilbert?
I was like reading
Who's
my notes
Gilbert?
and I think I just went with the grape and went Gilbert. Okay. 1993. So this is like just when Johnny Depp started to get real famous, right? He had been in like, Nightmare on Elm Street. Excellent role for him. Love that. Dying in the bed in the like sea of blood.
Exactly.
If you've never seen that, amazing. Then he was in like some TV shows,
21 Jump Street?
including 21 Jump Street. Yep, that's it. And then like he started doing movies and Soup Pops popular. And so then I came upon this movie because when Titanic came out, I decided I was in love with Leonardo DiCaprio, as many 12, 13-year-old girls did. And in my mind, that meant, okay, let's go back and watch every movie he's ever been in. So I did it like I did it all.
Yeah.
And I had to watch this movie. Now, this isn't the greatest movie if you want to watch one that you're like a crush on somebody in, because Leonardo DiCaprio plays like a mentally disabled child, essentially. And he was 19 when he filmed this. But kind of a big role for him that really kind of set his career off into really like sky high. He got an Oscar nomination for the portrayal of the brother Arnie. And I thought this movie was so cool. I was like, I don't know if I totally understood it or if there is even anything to get, but I was like, oh my God, like another movie where I was like, oh my God, like I just want to cry, like a 12-year-old. I mean, like, I want to cry. This movie is like so sad. Like that kind of a thing.
Well, for me, Liz, our older sister Liz, really liked Johnny Depp. So she was obsessed with this movie because of Johnny Depp in it. So that's where my awareness came from. Was just
even though it's like the least physically attractive I feel like he's ever been.
let's poll her tomorrow and see what she thinks.
Yeah.
Because, I can't get past the red clown hair. I was like, what is this fucking like drop dead Gilbert Grape? Like this like fucking red clown hair. I hate it.
Why do you think they made that decision to dye his hair
was
that color?
anyone
To
else's
make him,
hair red?
No, to make him more of a schlub, do you think?
No.
Like just
What?
so he looked like schlubby
That's
and
not
not
a thing.
as attractive as like a tan,
No.
dark-haired Johnny Depp was.
I don't think so.
No.
I think maybe it's like, oh, maybe the dad had red hair, or like, I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. The only thing I could think of was like he did it for another movie and had to keep it.
Yeah. It didn't even look like dyed. It looked like he put in
it looked
sun
like
in.
fake. It looked like
It looked like
fake
sun in,
red hair.
and then he sat out in the sun. Yeah.
No, sun in turns your hair blonde.
Well, but like his hair was so dark because that's all
Sunset
like the
turns your
sun.
hair
he-
red. Just
Whoa. But
Yeah, that was
so
weird.
I agree. Like if you, same thing, you would like, you would like Johnny Depp. You'd watch this movie. I mean, he's
I mean,
the
I
star.
definitely, yeah. I mean, I didn't understand a damn thing about it. I know that for sure. I do remember vividly the scene where Johnny Depp comes out of the house and like puts his apron over his like boner or whatever. And like I didn't really get it, and I was like, "Oh, like sex things. Like, does he have wet pants? What's happening?" And like I didn't really get it. So that brought
Did he spill
back
ice cream on his pants?
Yeah, like I don't know. There was like some accident. I don't know.
So yeah. So it was a really sweet movie. I enjoyed this rewatch a lot. I watched this afternoon, and it was just like sweet. Middle America, boring town. Some guy like is miserable in his life. I feel like that's just like kind of a normal plot, based on a book, I guess. And feel almost like a John Irving book. If you've ever read like John Irving stuff, it felt very like that. You have this like small town with all these little characters and this central family with everyone has like these little quirks, I'd say. So who's in this movie? So as we've already said, Johnny Depp, Leo DiCaprio, Juliette Lewis, who came off of, what did I read? The director saw her performance in Cape Fear and was like, that's the girl for me. She was good as
Buckethead.
what is
Becky.
her name? Buckethead Becky. That hat really does stand out.
It's
I mean,
just-
first of all, it's like totally 90s.
It was my favorite character,
It hurts.
hands down.
I
Like
know.
it was just
I
so
know.
good. And I swear the flower kept changing. Like if it was like a continuity thing or something, but like it would be like a different flower within like the same scene. I'm like, is this bitch pulling over on her bike and like sticking new flowers in every mile? Like what is this?
Maybe. I mean, she was a cool girl, I will say. Her wardrobe is cool, but she is also like a, like anything goes kind of girl.
I
She
don't
just
get
seems
it.
like so chill against like the against Gilbert, who's like pretty like uptight about stuff just because his life like sucks. You have a Mary Steenburgen as the
Crazy.
seductress. Always is so mean to her children.
Oh my
I
God.
really felt bad for the
She's
kids.
worst.
Oh my
question
God.
was like,
Go outside.
Why are the Carvers so fucking nuts? Like the husband.
Well,
like,
I'm going to talk about the
oh
dad
my
later
God,
because
good.
that I have so many
I have so
questions,
many
but I
questions,
like
too.
was made me very very
Probably the
uncomfortable.
same question.
John C. Riley, I totally forgot he was like the carpenter bud. So
Who, like,
sweet.
Who has like a heart and soul, unlike some people I know. Gilbert.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then Crispin Glover, like random role
As
also
the
as the friend,
Undertaker.
as the Undertaker friend in town, who's like always talking about his job and dead bodies and
He like loves
It
it.
was-
At first, I was like,
yeah.
"Wow, it's so refreshing to see Crispin Glover in like a not weird role." And then he started
yeah.
talking about like the dead bodies, loving the
Yeah.
dead body, and I was like, "Oh,
It
okay,
was-
here we are."
Yeah, it was fucking weird. And then a bunch of other people who kind of random. The character who plays Ma, I didn't catch her name, but she was not like an official actress. She was like picked for this role because someone saw her, or one of the casting director, or no, the director saw her, or no, maybe it was the writer of the book, saw her on Sally Jesse Raphael on an episode. Like, I haven't left my house in 5 years was like the title of the episode. And so she was just like Ma in a lot of ways, and then became kind of an actress. She did a couple other things too, and was like pretty fantastic, I'll say.
Yeah, she was
like,
great. I was really impressed.
She was great. Yeah, she was awesome. So apologies for her. She has since
Darlene-
passed away.
Oh, her name is Darlene Cates, not to be
Yeah,
confused
yep.
with our other favorite Cates,
Phoebe
Cates. No relation.
That's our mom. Just kidding. And then like the sisters, and like the younger sister looked like someone familiar to me,
Like,
but I
she's in the
couldn't
Mars
really
Attacks or
place
something.
her. Okay.
Or
Um,
or Independence Day. What's the one with the family in the RV and they're like, "Dad, don't go
No,
in and
she-
shoot the aliens." That's Independence
She
Day.
was the daughter of somebody, though. It's not Independence Day, but she's a daughter of somebody in a movie
Probably
like
Mars
that. Though.
Attacks,
You're
then.
very close. Yeah.
Maybe I'll pick that movie next
and-
week and we can find out.
Oh, nice. And then the older sister, I don't know, somebody. And so that's the cast, but really revolving largely around Johnny Depp, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Juliette Lewis for sure. What else? It's a sweet flick. I'll say.
Pretty long.
What did you think of it?
It did feel super long. I didn't realize how much of like the larger story I didn't understand as a youth. Just like all the like the themes and the like complexities of grief and like loving someone but also being a caretaker and like the toll that takes and like all that stuff just is like it hits different now when you're like, oh, adult stuff.
Oh, totally. Like I feel like when I was young I only centered around like, okay, Leonardo DiCaprio stuff because obviously I was like watching it for him, but then mostly about like just the mom being fat and like the ending,
right,
which like always struck me as so sad, and though like something that watching it then felt a little bit more necessary, I guess.
Yeah.
The burning down of that house
relief.
and everything. Yeah. And how, right. Like I just felt it was like, oh my God, like I can't believe the mom died. And, So yeah, definitely. It's just, I mean, it goes to show, I mean, this is what our entire podcast is about, like rewatching movies after you have this impression of them when you're little and then like revisiting them and being like, oh shit. Like, wow. I like did not understand that movie at all. So let's get into this sweetest plot ever. It's time for the sweetie synopsis. Yeah.
Sweeties.
Match in the gas tank. Boom, boom, boom.
Love that.
I will say, like, the Leonardo DiCaprio portrayal of Arnie, like, I know it's, like, not, like, kosher to do that anymore, really, to put in people who don't have, like, a disability into roles. However, I did think he did, like, a really good job. But, like, it felt, I was still like laughing at him a lot, and I wasn't sure if like that was like the right thing.
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did a lot of research because I wasn't sure like how like the autistic community feels about this movie, because I guess like after careful evaluation, that is like what the mental
is he supposed to be autistic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so. Nobody seems to have a problem. I found my way to like a Reddit subthread about like why Sia's movie was so much worse, and that like it's apples and oranges trying to compare the portrayals, because Leo's like a serious actor who like really spent time with boys who had autism and like not studied them, but like got to know them and like adopted some of those characteristics. So it was like a more thoughtful portrayal, I guess. So I guess it's like pretty well regarded within circles. Doesn't seem to be a lot of controversy about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't like, I don't know, I didn't feel pity for his character or anything like that. Like, and I think that made him says that he did a good job for it. Like, but he was like funny.
Yeah.
Laughed at like all his little things. I love how he just says like Gilbert all the time is like my favorite thing. He's just always like Gilbert. Like he always has to say it, and he's just I mean, I think he did a really good job, but he was my favorite. Okay, sorry.
Oh, I didn't even get to do my start of the synopsis yet.
No.
Shit. Okay. Gilbert Grape is the eldest brother of the elder brother, who is, how old is he supposed to be? I don't think, did he say that?
So I read, they don't say, but it is sort of thought he's maybe early 20s.
Yeah. Like, give him 21, 22-ish. He is basically responsible for the well-being of his entire family. He takes care of his younger brother Arnie, who, as just previously stated, is on the autism spectrum and needs a lot of caring, and he's always running up the fucking like water tower in town and like scaling things. And I'm like, listen, those cops, man, are like total dicks. and they get mad at him every time he climbs the fucking water tower. Here's an idea, boys, is why don't you make a fucking retractable ladder that like fucking locks so that he can't get up there? Like there's such
or
assholes.
something around the ladder.
Fucking
Yeah, I mean
shits.
they obviously are not sensitive at all. I do want to say that the whole experience of Arnie keeping running away is like I had PTSD because this is what keeps happening to my cat. I'm not even kidding you. Like I am Johnny Depp and my cat is Arnie, and you like turn your back for 1 second and my cat is like gone. And it just made me feel very, very nervous.
Can't turn your back for a second. That's the lesson.
No.
Is like,
Well, I mean-
Gilbert knows that, and yet he keeps fucking doing this because he thinks with his
Right.
dick and not his brain.
Oh my God, it killed me
Yopes.
every time. I'm like, why aren't you watching your brother?
It's so annoying. But yeah, so Arnie, obviously a lot of feelings with Gilbert there because he's a young lad, you know, he's feeling all these arousals constantly, and he has to take care of his brother literally all the time. And then on top of
like
that,
goes to work with him.
goes to work with
like,
him,
it's
bathes him,
always
like
with
literally
him.
is with him all day, every night.
And he's going to be
And Arnie's
18,
gonna be
so it's like he's old. He's not like a little kid,
right.
but he really is
Right.
in his mind.
And then on top of that, his mother is basically like a recluse who hasn't left the house in 7 years, I think.
Yep.
She basically has been just depressed ever since their father committed suicide. And so she's just been like slowly withering away by just becoming very large. And so he's like, Gilbert holds like contention about that. And like, he's like, mad, like he's fairly mean to his mother, not to her face, but like to other people about his mom. Like he'll be talking to his bud and be like, "Oh, my mom's so fat, she's a whale. Like you wouldn't be able to miss her." Like blah, blah, you know, like weird things like that. Like lets
meanwhile,
little kids look through the window at his mom. Like it's fucked up.
So the whole town like knows that this is happening. Like little kids go over and like, you know, make like look in the window. She's like the freak show of town. You know, no one's seen her, but they've heard about her, and like,
But
so it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for all the kids.
Yeah,
sure.
it's like a really strange mixture because they obviously love her, but they're a little bit ashamed, but then they're ashamed that they're ashamed. So then it's like this like horrible endless cycle. So there's that, and then he also has two sisters, Amy and Ellen, whose only job it is to cook and work at the Dairy Drem. Okay, so they spell this ice cream place Dairy like creme, so DREME. Like, what is the point of that? Why don't they just call it Dairy Dream, which is like basically the same thing? And hey, it rhymes with cream, so it makes more sense. Like, what? It was like
It's the only place to hang out too. I will say he hated that town, but I thought it was adorable. I was like, oh my God, I want to go there.
I want to go at the Dairy Drem, so I want to go all the time.
It was the only place to hang out. Are you kidding? It was like,
but don't you feel like
spot.
his sisters could have done like a little more? Like it
Yeah.
was just like Gilbert's doing a fucking lot. Like he's working at a fucking job where he's getting like sexually harassed and molested like every other day by this woman who's mean to her
likes
children.
it.
And I mean, like, yeah. And then taking care of his brother. He's responsible for like taking care of the house. Like all this shit, man. He's got it. He's got it
He's
tough.
the man.
He's got it tough.
Man of the house.
So basically, the movie is like him kind of like moving through life and finding true love in the form of Juliette Lewis's character, whose name is Becky. And she's like a traveling nomad with her grandmother, who's her sister.
How young is that grandmother?
Like, isn't this your sister? I don't get it.
I know.
But so
like
like
grandma my ass.
they were just traveling around like during summer vacation, or was this like an all year? Because she mentions her parents are divorced and she switches time, so it's like but now you're in an RV like going wherever, so what's the purpose?
And like why, like, okay, so the beginning of the movie starts with Gilbert and Arnie like waiting for the caravans to come through. So essentially like people with RVs who like camp there.
Yeah.
So that must be like a seasonal thing, I guess, right?
RV
Yeah. So
destination in
like
Endora, Iowa.
right,
Is that
exactly.
where we are?
Yes, Iowa.
Nothing
So like
there
lands of
except
cornfields,
fields.
flat, very
good
lots of fields
times.
and stuff. So yeah, so she comes to town and he like immediately notices her. I think partially because she is wheeling a bike around, and I swear to God, never rides it. She never rides that bike. That bike spends all of its time in the back of his pickup truck. I'm like, what is this prop? What is even the point of the bike? But whatever. Maybe she couldn't even ride a bike.
Yeah.
Maybe Juliette Lewis couldn't ride a bike.
Yeah.
But so he's fascinated by her because she's, young and pretty, and that's hard to come by in this town. And also she's like something new in the town. So it represents like almost like a way out, if you will. So, but at first he's like super sketchy with her, like total stalker face. He just is like creeping on her. She comes into the store and he's like hiding behind cereal boxes. I mean, it's very awkward to the point the boss is like, "Hey, Gilbert, where are you?" And she's like, "He's behind the chips." It's so weird. I like laughed out loud. And so that's great and all. So that represents like a little bit of something like outside of his life. But he is carrying on this ongoing affair with crazy lady, Mrs. Carver.
Yeah. And it's a very strange relationship. Like the code, it's like, may as well be pizza with extra anchovies. It's like you have a grocery delivery. So he
what's with the grocery delivery?
She's got kids. She can't leave the house. I mean, they have it now. Hello.
Yeah, I guess it was like pre-Peapod kind of stuff. But yeah, it was all about the deliveries.
Yeah.
It's
totally a thing in small towns.
So he works at this small town grocery store. And then the next town over is like the big fancy grocery store that has like all the shit. And no one comes to that little like lonely grocery store because of the big one.
Yet another conflict.
Yes.
In the many conflicts of Gilbert Grape.
Grocery stores.
So crazy lady Carver. So yeah, she's crazy. She's just like mean to her kids. Every time Gilbert comes around, she's like, "Go away, go play, get away from here, get away.
Yeah.
I hate you, go away." And then does sex things with Gilbert while like poor Arnie's like waiting in the truck. It's just like a weird situation, just like a weird exchange where I'm like, ugh, I don't like this. And then the husband is like this insurance salesman who's also very crazy. So, I mean, we have a lot of questions about the crazy, right? Because
he seemed like legit kooky, like something.
But only at the end.
Was up with him.
Was he kooky earlier? I didn't remember that.
He was kind of kooky because he comes home and he's like jumping on the trampolines with the kid, and his kids are being very weird. My question is, did he know about the affair or not?
Yeah, it was pretty ambiguous. Like, there's one point where, so Gilbert's like main conflict, other than neglecting to take care of his family, is that now that he's seeing Becky with the bucket hat, like this housewife, Mrs. Carver, is very jealous and is like acting out and being weird. So she lures him into her home and then is like, "Oh, I'm making cookies. Can you dial that phone number for me?" And then he dials it and it's like her husband, and she starts like laughing and then gives him a BJ, and he's like, it's weird. And the guy's like, "What's happening?" But like, you can't tell if he knows what's happening or like what.
Right. And then even before this, he's like harassing Gilbert about, "You got to come see me. Like, we got to talk man to man." And Gilbert thinks it's about because he knows that he just
wants
boning
to
his
sell
wife.
insurance.
But it's about insurance. Yeah. So like,
I
that's
thought he
weird.
I'm pretty sure he was oblivious. And then the last thing is that like, finally Gilbert goes to like see him and talk about insurance, and then the wife calls the husband and is like crying, is like, "You have to come home." And so this shit doesn't have a car, so Gilbert has to drive him. They get there, there's like a fire because the lady like left the cookies burning in the oven with the kids in the house. She's like, "You're upset about this 20-year-old kid you've been fucking?" Like, what? It was crazy.
It was all she had.
She has 2 wonderful children. Like, come on.
So then the husband is like, tries to, I'm not sure if he's comforting her or he's like yelling at her.
Yelling at her
he's like,
for burning
the cookies are fine. Like, look at these
like
cookies. And then he starts
he's
like
sarcastic. Yeah.
tries to give him to the kids, and then he starts yelling at the kids about not playing in the pool. I thought it was like a reaction to he finally figured out that like him,
It could have
her, and
been.
Johnny Depp were having an affair, and
Could
that
have
was
been,
his
or
way
he's
of like.
constantly annoyed at his wife for being useless and not being able to do
Yeah,
anything.
maybe it was that.
Maybe he's
I
on
don't know.
drugs. Maybe he like did coke and like
Maybe.
that he was crazy, and then that's why he had a heart attack. So basically, you find out he like drowns in the kiddie pool in like 2 inches of water because he had a heart attack and then fell in. And so there's that problem solved. And so she moves away with the kids basically, and yeah, that's that plot.
Right. So that's one thing. So the bigger like story is that Arnie is turning 18 years old. So the beginning of this movie through the end, they're planning this birthday party for him, and it's like a big to do. But meanwhile, like we said, like Arnie keeps running away. Gilbert just gets really getting fed up with that. He's trying to build this relationship with Becky, and she's like getting him to talk about things because basically like Gilbert is like sleeping through life. He seems like he's like half awake the entire movie. Like he's trying to be such a good brother, but obviously is just like he's just had enough. I mean, it's a long time to be doing that. A long time to have to watch your little brother like night and day, have to deal with your mom who like won't get over, or you never get over someone committing suicide, but like it just never comes to terms with that grief, and she just doesn't leave the house. The sisters who are doing their best, but yeah, everyone's just kind of doing their best, but it's just not not good enough. So that's just like the whole movie is him just kind of like
Grappling with that.
like I'm Gilbert, like like life is terrible.
Yeah. And he makes a couple of critical errors. So like he has to go see Becky and is like, here, I'm pretty sure, Arnie, you can take this bath by yourself. You're a very capable young man, even though I know that you're not. Like, I'm going to leave you here in this bathtub, even though my sisters could easily have, like, finished this job for me. I don't get it. And so he like, goes on this date with Becky, comes back home, goes to bed without even, like, checking to make sure Arnie got out of the tub okay, falls asleep, wakes up the next morning, and Arnie's in the bathtub still, like, hey, Gilbert. Like, oh, my God.
Aww.
Unbelievable. I just don't understand how he would, like, not, like, reassign this task to somebody else, B, finish it quickly and then go. Becky's going to be here for a couple weeks more, like, calm down. Or just, like, have the sisters do it. And then at the very least, check on him.
Right.
Made me so mad.
He was in love.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
the girl did not help things because it really makes him shirk his responsibilities. So then Arnie like will not go near water after this because he, was almost caught hypothermia in the family bathtub. So then he spends the rest of the movie like totally dirty. Like I kept wondering, being like, what's that on his face at first? And I was like, oh my God, like what is happening there? And he just like gets progressively like dirtier and dirtier. It's like pretty funny. So again, like he is off with Becky again, and Arnie like makes a run for it again.
Yeah, they're swimming in all their clothes and shoes in the pond. Becky and Gilbert, they're swimming with all their clothes on, and he like.
And that's when
shoes.
Arnie runs away again?
And he's like in the tree, and then he's like, laughing, and then they don't hear from him in like 10 seconds. He's already at the water tower, like all the way at the top somehow. Yeah. So he gets, and then this is the time the cops are like, not this time, we're arresting him.
Yeah. What?
And so they like take him, like lock him up. The mom's so upset. She bravely leaves the house for the first time in 7 years and marches down to the police station and is like, let my son out. And she like screams at them. And then
my son, I want my son, Jerry.
Fucking Jerry, like,
yeah,
Jerry, man.
Who's like locks up someone with a mental disability? Like,
well, so like what?
Asshole.
So the dad, what's up with the dad what was his job?
I don't remember what his job was.
It seemed like she knew Jerry, like either her husband worked with him, probably not, or something else. Like he was a criminal.
Right.
I don't know.
So this is, I mean, what you know about the dad is that he built the house. Now the house is like rickety as fuck and falling apart to the point that like Gilbert has to have his friend John C. Reilly come and like secretly fix the house.
Why does it have to be in secret?
I don't know.
Because the mom would be upset that the dad did a bad job.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Or
like
that
anything that had to do with the dad was, or it was because of the basement and that's where he hung himself. Wasn't it something to do with that?
What does that? I mean, like you got to fix the house. You're gonna fall through and die, baby. Like, gonna simmer down. Like I don't know.
And then did you hear this, or was it just me that when he's telling the story of his dad dying, he's like, "Oh, my dad like just up and left, and we didn't hear anything from him for 2 years, and then they found him in the basement." What? Is that right? No. He wasn't like hanging in the basement for 2 years.
I think he meant that he was gone from their lives for 2 years, and then he came back one night and killed himself in their basement just to be like an extra dick about it. Would be my guess. Oh my
god. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is. He seemed to have severe depression and like didn't do anything. So, sucks. And then the mom's depressed, and everyone's fucking depressed in this family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the dad, but anyways, fucking Jerry. So they get Arnie out of jail. They have his sweet little birthday party. Arnie's wearing this like adorable Burger Barn uniform that I'm like obsessed with.
Well, you missed what happened like right before though, night before.
And then Gilbert's so mad at Arnie because why does he
wouldn't take a bath? He's like, you have to take a bath.
Oh.
He's trying to get him to bathe.
Well, you know why he doesn't want to take a bath, Gilbert? Because you fucking fucked it up. So Gilbert just like completely loses his cool and like beats up Arnie, and then flees the house, goes to Becky's. They have sex.
Wait, Arnie runs to Becky's first.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they drive him back. Or he goes and gets him.
He goes to Becky's first. She cleans him up, and then she's able to get him to take a bath by like they have this like little pond, and he loves climbing the tree, and he like jumps down from the tree into the thing. His sisters come, and then like they go away with him, and then Gilbert is like tells her what happened, and then ends up sleeping over there like on a blanket by the little bog and stuff, and tells him all about the dad, and they kind of have this like close moment because they hadn't really been super physical before then. I think they had kissed like once or something, and she's all like, I want to meet your mom, and is trying to get him to like open up because he's like so closed. So they have a real breakthrough that night in more ways than one, right?
Yes. And then next day is Arnie's birthday, so Gilbert goes home. Sweet little birthday. Just like lots of kids, which I didn't know. I mean, they never show Arnie playing with any kids in the movie, so I was just like, why? I don't know. It just seemed interesting.
Like when he was like, he met those boys, I think at like the Burger Barn, like opening. There's like some burger chain his like friend invests in or something called Burger Barn, like a franchise. But Arnie's there like hanging out, and he's like, you're Mike, right? Like he's like, you come to my birthday, my 18th birthday. He's like, I don't know you, but you can come to my birthday too. Like it was so cute.
I love the Burger Barn uniform. Was like my favorite thing. I think I always thought it was like a banker's uniform when I was little. Like I didn't make the connection, but but it's a good birthday.
So cute.
And Becky comes, and finally Gilbert introduces Becky to his mom. It's a big deal. And his mom's like happy that he's found someone that she didn't hold him back from like experiencing things like love. So I think she's like finally kind of sort of realizing like I'm actually a pretty huge burden on my children because they can't leave this place. The house is falling apart, but they can't leave because of me, blah, blah, blah. They're laughed at because of me. So she's feeling a lot of like guilt, but maybe peace. I don't know. So then she decides she's gonna walk up the stairs to her bedroom that was up there. That I guess we don't know how long it's been. It's 7 years since she left the house, but we don't know how long it's been since she's been upstairs. But she makes the trip and then lays down on the bed. She's very tired. Says some nice things to Gilbert and is like, what did she say to him again? She's like, you're my shimmering knight in shimmering armor.
Shimmering armor.
Like, is that the expression?
Well, he calls her on it, and she's like, no. She's like, I know that, but you're shimmering. You glow and shimmer, and just it's really sweet. thing to say to him.
She's like, get Arnie. So then poor Arnie comes, and unfortunately the mom also has had a heart attack, I gather, and has died. And poor Arnie's trying to wake her up, and he can't wake her up, and he's all upset. Gets his siblings, and then they all kind of like mourn over her body for like a couple hours. Call the whoever to cops. And they're like, how are we going to get her out of here? We're going to have to like lift her out with a crane. So like that's super upsetting, obviously. So they start like talking about it. And they're like, oh, I don't want people to come and like watch that. I don't want that for her. So they decide basically to burn the house down with her in it. Take all the furniture out, burn it, that shit to the ground, and then like get the fuck out of there. So now they can do whatever they want with this. Like now they're free. But there's still obviously guilt and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So, so the sisters like get a job someplace or something.
So that one was like a baker.
Does he talk
or
about
a
the other one?
Cook
Oh,
or
she was
something.
young.
The other one, he says, yeah, she went to a new high
Who's she
school or
living
something.
with? Like it seemed like Gilbert and Arnie did their own thing and like are now like hanging out with Becky and her sister grandma or whatever. And I don't like, I'm curious. Where are they now?
So then it's suddenly like the next year, and you know this because they both have haircuts, or Gilbert's hair is longer and Arnie has a haircut.
And Becky, her hair is a little longer.
And Becky does too, yeah. So like the caravans are coming through again, and they're waiting for her. So clearly they've like kept in touch, and like they embrace and kiss, and Arnie is all like cute, and they're gonna go hang out with like the grandma and Becky, I guess, and have a fun summer. So that's it. So like happy but sad. I mean, did the mom like know she was gonna die?
I think so.
Or you just felt like, she just felt like at peace, like my kids are going to be okay or much better without me, like you said. And that just like mentally she kind of had died, and then her body just like followed, I guess.
That's what I think. And that's why she wanted to get Arnie to like say goodbye to him. I don't know if she's going to say anything to the poor sisters who nobody remembers.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it anyways.
Yeah. So cute movie, a lot about grief, being a caretaker, like Sweetie said in the beginning, how that can take a toll on people, this sort of push and pull where you need to be there for somebody, but you also like Gilbert says in the beginning. So doctors said that Arnie like wasn't going to make it past like 10 years old.
Weird.
But he did.
Yeah. But that's not
I know. And then he made it to 8. Then they're like, he's not going to make it past 18, and he's like turning 18. So that's why they have kind of this big celebration. So Gilbert says something about like sometimes like I wish he'd like live forever, and sometimes like I wish he would die. Which I think when you have like that burden of caretaking, like you might cross your mind like how hard life is, and it would be easier if they weren't there, but you would feel obviously miss them so much and feel so guilty if they weren't.
And I definitely just either read or watched something where like somebody was expressing that like same thing, and the person, maybe Rob Lowe, I don't know, was like, no, I never wish that they were dead. Like he was being like a dick about it. I don't know if it was him, but like probably it was. But it made me mad because I was like, that's just a really honest and like vulnerable thing to admit. I mean, and like,
it's a human thing. I'll say this, like when our dad was sick, there was like part of me that was like, I can't do this anymore. This like horrible feeling of like watching someone go through this, and also like how scary it was and how stressful.
Like in terms of caretaking. I know. So like imagine.
Oh, totally. And a part of me really did just want it to be over, because like I couldn't live like that. Like it just was so draining. And then obviously another part of me is like, but I don't want dad to die. Like I couldn't even stomach that. So it is this like weird, super weird feeling when you get someone to be that sick.
Not that,
or in the case of the mom,
or Arnie, not that Arnie was,
or Arnie's
like, that whole like that weird thing by the doctor was strange to me. And like maybe they didn't. At the time, think that it was.
I don't think they
autism.
understood.
Yeah, they didn't understand
his illness.
That he had Down syndrome or like was like that level, but still, and it's not even like it's not that their life expectancy is shortened. I don't think, from what I researched again, it's that it's just like they just tend to die like 10 years earlier than most people or something. Like it's like a stats thing.
Well, I thought it also could be because he's like doing risky
Well,
things.
that's part of it. Like one of the reasons. It's like that. Maybe they're neglected or like suicide. Like there's all these different factors that get like upped or like doubled. So I think that's why.
Yeah.
But I thought that was weird.
Right. Yeah. I was like, what? But yeah. So I just have like a lot of random shit to talk about.
Go for it.
As my notes will attest to. So first off, let's talk about, so as I said, Leonardo DiCaprio nominated for Best Supporting Actor for this movie. As you tend to be if you play someone with a disability, right? That seems to be kind of like a thing for the Oscars. Here's who he was up against. So he did not win, as I said. Here's who he was up against. Ralph Fiennes in Schindler's List. Okay, that was... Oh, wait. Oh, because he was the Nazi. Oh, okay. I was thinking
Schindler?
It was
No.
Schindler. I was like,
That's a fun
oh my
game,
God, that's
though.
supporting? Okay. Yeah.
Ray Fiennes or the other or Taken guy, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson? Oh, yeah. I know. I was like so confused. Like, who played who in that movie? Okay. So sorry. Ralph Fiennes, Schindler's List. Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. Leonardo DiCaprio in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Peter Postlethwaite in The Name of the Father. If you saw that actor, you'd know who it was, but that's his name. And then John Malkovich is in The Line of Fire. So Tommy Lee Jones won for The Fugitive. Great role, sure, but a lot of people think Leonardo should have won. And then Leonardo was nominated, I think, several times after, never won it until, until semi-recently, in The Revenant. So interesting. And he was super young in this. I mean, like I said, he was 19. Yeah,
they're like, he's got time.
He had the chops.
Need to win it, but then he was like cursed for several years. So,
oh yeah. But he said this was he loved playing this role. Like Sweetie said, he went and spent some time with teens with disabilities to kind of see how they interacted. So he put in the work. He put in the work, and I think it was really successful. So go Leo.
Go Leo.
Go Leo.
Cool.
Go.
What else?
Go Leo. Did you think it was weird when they went and got ice cream and then she licked her ice cream a bunch of times and then was like, would you like to swap flavors with me?
I was more like, why are those ice cream cones so small? It was like, it reminded me of like
that's sister sucks.
It reminded me of like when we were like training this new guy at the ice cream cafe. Do you remember Jude, who was like Big Sarah's cousin?
Yeah.
Hey Jude. So when he was like first training to scoop ice cream, and like sure, when you start learning how to scoop ice cream, it's like a little hard at first, so you don't like get like a good scoop, right? Takes time to get to the used to the nuance of like making a couple of rolls that combine into one big like blob. So anyways, this guy's making a kiddie cone, which at the ice cream cafe was like a little bit less than a full heaping scoop. So it was like actually meant for a kid. So he's making this cone and he's like, goes to hand it to the customer. And it was like literally a sliver of ice cream on this cone. And I was like, oh my God, wait. I was like, I think it needs a little more. But it looked like these ice cream cones. There was just like a teeny, like a bloop, like really? I know people overserve and stuff, but it was, this was way too small. So I thought that was weird. But I mean, presenting the situation I think that's pretty weird.
Like they hadn't hooked up or anything. Like this is them very awkward.
And it was very like
hang out.
drippy.
The first time they hung out,
ice melty.
Yeah, and she literally took a bunch of licks, and then she's like, "Will you want to switch
flavors
flavors with
She's
me?"
like, I regret this decision. I want yours.
I guess. Oh, it was weird. Okay, what about those pickled eggs at the grocery store?
I didn't remember
Did you notice? So like it's like an old timey little grocery store. And they have a bunch of stuff like where the register is, and then one is a big thing of pickled eggs.
Why do you want that?
What
do you
are
use
those
pickled eggs for?
I don't know, and it scares. You eat them; it's like a snack. You'll be like, "Can I have a pickled egg? 50 cents?" And they take
why do you
the
want a
tongs
pickled
out.
egg over
like
a regular egg?
Well, it's like a hard-boiled egg that never goes bad because it's pickled.
But it's also like,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like a snack.
I mean, we can't knock it until we try it,
Ugh.
but Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Ooh, I mean, I love hard-boiled eggs, but like, yuck. And then also salad bars. So John C. Reilly brings up this thing about salad bars because he's talking about like the franchise of Burger Barn. And he talks about how like cool salad bars are. And I understand with COVID that salad bars are basically like never coming back again, right? But what that concept was like when that came out and how cool that was. Did you ever go to Ruby Tuesdays, which had the most ultimate salad bar?
We went together in Orlando once.
Yes. And it was amazing. I mean, they had so many things to put in a salad bar. It was like mind blowing. And it was so cheap. Yeah. It was like $5 and it's all you can eat. Great. So you just keep going back and getting
in
salad.
General, the buffet concept was very like world changing.
Oh, yeah. Have we talked about Old Country Buffet on this podcast?
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, geez, I wish I could just go get some fucking fried chicken, a leg of turkey, mac and cheese, soft serve ice cream, and then like a prime rib roast all at one time, you know? And you can. I don't think
Do those still exist? Does Old Country Buffet still exist?
There was one in Medford, but no more. No more. There's another place that's like comparable to it. I think that's still around. Another chain.
All right, so there's a bunch in New York.
Right,
it looks like
pilgrimage.
Still. Let's go. Yeah, so we went. It was like a really fun thing for us to do with our dad. It was in Hyannis, which was like the city of Cape Cod. And we'd be like, whenever we'd go there, the mall or something, we'd be like, let's go to Old Country Buffet. And they had, smorgasbord of food. There were so many different stations. I love the chowder, like soup station. Like Sweetie said, the soft serve ice cream. They had a dope salad bar. They had fried chicken. There's like weird seafood shit that like you probably wouldn't touch. Yeah. Oh, it was so good. And it was all you can eat. So, you just kind of kept going back because you could. You weren't even hungry. You're just like, okay, no, like I could get French fries. I'm going to go get French fries. Like I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. I never felt super full or anything.
You were like little, so you had like a small stomach, but you
little. I wasn't eating that much.
A bunch of shit. The one I was thinking of was Golden Corral.
Yeah,
I think that's like pretty comparable to Old Country Buffet. So
I've never been there. Old Country. Yeah, it's a great concept. Again, not sure like that's really going to survive anymore with COVID. I know they have different like guards and stuff, but everyone touching the utensils. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, but
I just feel like
cool. It just made me think of something else
like
too.
A good thing. But like they kind of freak me out because it's like if I have to sneeze, I'm gonna like turn away from the salad bar and not sneeze on it. Whereas like it seems like everyone else is sneezing directly on the salad bar because we need something called a sneeze bar. You know what I mean? Like interesting.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was also just for like general breathing.
Apparently
and like
it's for sneezes.
People like getting stuff on there, but yeah, guys, salad bars, those were the
now they're
days.
Like, here you got 5 things in a couple beats, $32, and it's like it's really ridiculous. Yeah. Just like all the
like
salad
sweet
greens,
greens,
even regular buffets. It's like lettuce is. I mean, the good stuff is heavy, right? Like I want a hard boiled egg. That shit's like a pound, not a pound, but like.
Have you ever done? I mean, I'm sure you've done the salad bar at Whole Foods. Oh my God. You're like, okay, a little of this, a little of that, a little of this.
I don't really subscribe to salads any longer.
I wouldn't do it. Rip off.
I hurt my stomach.
Okay. And then last thing I have is that, did you know that, so there's a scene in the beginning where there's like a grasshopper on a mailbox and Arnie's like playing with it. And then he kills it by accident. And he's super sad about
DiCaprio decapitated the grasshopper.
Yeah, right. And he's like sad. He's really cute. And he's like, I killed it, Gilbert. I killed it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like a really sweet little scene. Anyway, so did you know, even for animals of that level, a grasshopper, a bug, animal protection agents had to be on scene and like make sure that nothing, the grasshopper was not harmed in the making of this film. Unfortunately, Leonardo did kill the grasshopper.
Well, so what happens? Is there a lawsuit? Like, what's the next step? Do they know it was an accident? They sign off on a paper?
Did the grasshopper union come and pick it? And they're like, we're not working on your films anymore.
It's interesting. Very interesting.
I mean, it's so like I understand why that exists, and I'm very happy it does. But like for bugs, it seems like a little over the top. I don't know.
Sorry, bugs.
But good for them. Sorry, bugs. Like for ants, is that what they do for ants?
Only bugs that you can like see on film.
Who can sign a contract?
Think about all the movies that like are based on bugs, like Arachnophobia. Like there must have been like so many fucking animal protection people up in that joint. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, taking all the animals out of the pet shop. Like wow, lots of things in there. Lots of things in that mix.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What a job.
What a job.
No thanks.
I don't know if I could handle it. I don't know if I could handle that job.
After going to get like
too much for me.
decapitated by Leonardo DiCaprio by accident. Like that's devastating.
I mean, that animal protection officer got fired. Clearly,
I had literally.
He's like, "Well, I lost my job. Leo killed the bug."
His grasshopper. It's dead. Oh man,
it's crazy. It's a crazy. It's a crazy.
Yeah, good movie. I didn't cry or anything, but I felt like I got it. I got the meaning and the message, so I felt good. I felt good about it.
Yeah. I had some feels. What's your favorite Johnny Depp movie?
Wow. I mean, it's got to be Edward Scissorhands, right? What's yours?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say mine too. I was looking at his like list of movies and into the 90s, and that's my favorite one, I think. Definitely most like likable, because I feel like he just, once he got into like, because like after this
vibes,
Don Juan DeMarco, you had like the astronaut's wife, Donnie Brasco,
Twisted Window.
Yes, he's in that. Secret Window. Oh, I did like that one. That was kind of
Charlie
cool, but
and
kind
the
of felt bad
Chocolate Factory.
Oh, don't get me started on that terrible
called Johnny.
Movie.
Oh,
Ugh,
Pirates. Hello, Pirates.
Yeah. Right. Pirates. So once he did the pirate stuff, and then it became like he became like Tim Burton's muse. I feel like he instead of like mopey 90s darling.
Sorry. Okay, I changed my answer.
Sorry, Johnny.
Maybe mine is Chocolat, which like is an amazing movie, and he's really good in it.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, and he's like himself,
really
but like likable.
Yeah, he's hot in that. Yeah. Right.
No.
Like I really don't, I'm not that attracted to Johnny Depp. He just isn't like someone for me, but he is very hot in that as the river
we
rat.
don't say that.
The American
guitar,
river rat.
Selling pirate treasure. Pirates. Oh my God. Follows him everywhere. Johnny.
Oh yeah.
Good job, Johnny.
Yeah.
Good job.
I know.
Yeah.
Johnny. I mean, he's pretty controversial now with the whole like abusive stuff, and like I think has some substance abuse problems too, but he's been working a long time. He's probably pretty old now too, right? Gotta be 50s. Sure. Yeah, crazy. His heartthrobs are like old men.
Right. Anything else? Great. All right. Well,
nope, that's it.
If you like the movie Gilbert Grape, as Sweetie would say, come find us on Twitter at the Sweetie Club or on Instagram at Large Marge. Send us. Thank you as always for listening. Bye.
Bye.
I don't think it's anybody. Crispin Glover.
Who is
we didn't talk about how he like awkwardly hit on the sister and was like, "You're turning into a very beautiful woman" at like the birthday party.
Ugh.
Yeah, he's
and the uncomfortable necrophilia conversation.
Bye.
Ding ding ding. Bye.